Welcome back to PMCS Day here in the Bacon Bunker. This is Big Bacon's Collection, and I'm your host, Big Bacon. Pay no attention to the fat man who's fixing something he didn't notice initially. Today, we're going to be looking at the 50th anniversary Battle Below Zero Ghosthawk with Arctic snake eyes. As always, we're going to look at the figure. We're going to start with his accessories, look at him, track his articulation, gear him up. Then we're going to look at the vehicle, and eventually we're going to throw them up on the shelf. So, this is basically just a reissue of one of the Pursuit of Cobra snake eyes, but done in a more Arctic-looking scheme. So, he comes with the katana and a back sheath. Now, the handle is greatly detailed, very similar to what you see in Retaliation. The blade is detailed, given a nice silver paint, but as you can tell, it's been left in this sheath for quite a while, and the paint has decided to, well, hang out in the sheath a little longer. He then comes with a pair of Uzis. Both are sculpted the exact same. Got the really long extended magazine. This came out of mold position 4. This one out of mold position 2. That's nice to know. Both of them have hooks on the back. Basic, just box-shaped Uzis. Nothing fancy about them. As for the hooks, we'll get to those in a minute. Next, we have the snake eyes. So he's got what appears to be the fabric-style mask on. And the mask has a white visor. Now, the visor is essentially glued into place. But underneath, you can see that there's actually eyes under there, which is really kind of weird. I've never seen eyes on a snake eyes before. Except for the movie release classified figure, but that's not a snake eyes. That's Ebony. We'll get to him eventually. So he's got one of the Retaliation style armored carriers on. Lots of magazine pouches, armored plating. It's done in a nice sort of metallic blue color. Comes out of the back. That now, like I said, the sculpted details on this are really great. The paint is done so it looks like it's old. It's kind of scuffed up, a little bit worn. Armored pieces on the shoulder are also that same blue, as are the gloves and the drop-down straps. He's got what appears to be a thicker jacket on, which would make sense if you're going to be in an Arctic region. Now the pant color, it's not the traditional snake eyes black, and I'm fine with that. Knees have that same kind of worn patina look to them, the knee pads. Doesn't have any attached holsters or sheaths or anything like that. Of course, he only came with the 2 weapons, and obviously you can see the difference in the plastic between the upper leg and the lower leg. Boots are just done in the basic black. Articulation-wise, the head is on a ball, so it goes up and down. Has a little bit of tilt and some side to side. Arms hinge up to above 90. They rotate all the way around. Single jointed elbow comes up to less than 90. Oh, right around 90. Rotation at the elbow. Hands rotate. They do not hinge. This one, I had a weapon in this hand for the longest time, so I still have the factory rubber band on here. Ta-da! Now he's plastic free. So the waist has there's a torso cut up here. You can't see it under the vest. The vest is removable, but I don't like fighting to get these back on. But yeah, there's a torso cut, and it allows for great rotation. Now this underwebbing and the vest are two separate pieces. You can see the belt right there. They hang down onto the legs. Now it's a standard T-hook. So the leg comes out that far, comes forward that far because the strap starts messing with the strap up here on the vest. Back, not at all. Double jointed knee comes all the way up. Foot rotates and just back that far, forward that far. So, the reason I said we get back to the hooks is if you look at the bottom of the vest, he's got these two hang down strap pieces. And you can actually maneuver so that the hooks on the Uzis hang from those web points. Now, this figure also has the hang down straps with the D-rings on them. So with just a little bit of work, you can get it in there. It's just a lot more difficult. And that's not very thick plastic there on those D-rings, so be careful if you attempt to do that. So, for the moment, we're going to gear him up. A couple of Uzis in hand. Let's throw the sword sheath onto the back, and he's ready for battle. Now moving on to the Ghosthawk. This is just a repaint of the 25th anniversary version. And if you don't believe me on that, made in China, 2008 Hasbro. Now, the body is done in this sort of off-white and gray color. It extends from almost, well, it extends the entire length of the body itself. Decaling on this is a little funky. Got a little bit of carbon there from, I'm not sure what. Snake Eyes is the pilot. Apparently he's got 12 confirmed kills. He's an ace. Canopy does open. Has a wonderful blue colored transparent canopy. There is a textured interior. It is shaped and detailed fairly nicely. And it does hinge and lock closed on the front. Underneath the cabin is a partially swiveling dual gun system. Doesn't have a great deal of range, but it does move. Coming down here, we've got the landing skids. And under the skids, each skid has a missile. There's a jet turbine down here. Coming up top, we've got rotating dual engines for vertical takeoff and landing, VTOL. The side stabilizers are the standard huge Ghosthawk style with an upper stabilizer over top. Now there are additional pegs back here, so I don't know if maybe did the 25th come with additional missiles, or are these just alternate placement locations? Because I'm going to tell you right now, right there is not too terrible. There is a clear line of sight. But this location here, I would not recommend firing that. That could be bad. So I just keep them underneath the struts. Get back on there. I keep getting the tail fin snagged on the rear wing. There we go. From the back. All in all, it's a nice looking vehicle. The detailing on it is really well done. Sculpting is great. The paint is more than adequate. And if you really wanted to, you could just leave the guns in his hands, kick his legs back. Come on, my friend, get down in there. Get down on it. Get down on it. Yeah, because of his web gearing, the leg pieces, he is a bit of a pain to get down in there. In fact, he's not all the way back in there. And this is where the fun begins. Because when you throw those leg straps on there, you're essentially just bulking him up in the waist area and making sitting much more difficult. He will fit in there. It just takes some work. And either an act of God or Congress. So there we have the Ghosthawk. What do you say we get it up on a shelf? Got a spot for it right there. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all next time.